Jon Jones is rubbing salt in the wound, and the MMA community is definitely not happy about it. Just days after more calls for him to finally defend his title against Tom Aspinall, Jon decided to poke the bear. In a not-so-subtle post online, Jon Jones joked about giving up belts like it's no big deal. To fans, it felt like a direct shot at Aspinall.
That he's ducking Tom Aspinall and stuff like that. He said, I spoke to the UFC a long time ago about what my future plans are. I haven't really worked out since my last fight in New York City. Honestly, I believe it's in the UFC's best interest to keep presenting me as the company's champion, not Tom. And then he goes on to say, I've just been playing the role of the company man by doing nothing at all and holding all the position. And truthfully, it's been incredibly lucrative. I've made more money off of Tom being the interim champ than Tom has himself. It sucks to see the rest of the division get slowed down like this, but that has nothing to do with me. I don't pull the strings. Well, it does have everything to do with you, Jon. You are the champion and you're the guy that should fight, that should defend or vacate.
Demands of money for the Tom Aspinall fight were met by the UFC. They gave him what he was looking for and he still said no. So he just doesn't want to fight Tom. They literally, according to Ariel, who hates the UFC and would not make this up to make them look better, according to Ariel, they actually gave Jon Jones FU money that he was looking for and he still turned down Tom Aspinall. So it's not about money. It's not about anything. He just wants nothing to do with Tom. Very interesting from Jon Jones. Now, everyone is unanimously in agreement about this. So we see a few comments here. But the problem is there's still a lot of people and a lot of people that are always going to be talking about Jones and not accepting what should happen here. Logic should dictate that Tom Aspinall should fight Jon Jones. And you see by these comments, that's cool and all, but I thought Dana made it clear we wouldn't do business again with Francis. He won't. Dana is not going to accept this. Ngannou coming back to the UFC. The UFC could consider it, but again, he's got one more fight on his contract at PFL. And that just can't be dealt with in any other way other than him actually fighting out that contract. None of it matters if Jones still has the belt. It's just another guy waiting to fight. I know it'll just be another guy in the logjam in the heavyweight division, but maybe the UFC could use this against Jon to say, listen, we can move on from you. But I don't even know. I don't know. They aren't. They're just going to let him ruin. We are genuinely going years without a heavyweight fight in the UFC. Because Jon Jones is just allowed to do that. We have never seen this before in the history of the sport. This is fucking insane.
And that's what has everyone fired up. Because while Tom Aspinall is staying respectful, remaining active, and asking for clarity, Jon Jones is making jokes about walking away, dodging fights, and avoiding danger, all while holding onto the UFC heavyweight belt and keeping the entire division on pause.
An idea. He was the one who delayed till Francis was out the fucking door. He could have fought Francis a long time ago. If he'd just taken the chance of going up the heavyweight earlier, we could have had him versus a prime Cain Velasquez. Cain Velasquez was 240. Jon Jones is 260, 265. And you're telling me Cain Velasquez was too big for him? What a load of shit. Stipe Miocic could have fought him in his prime, another one who was no bigger than Jon Jones. So when he's giving it the big and being like, oh, well, people always think someone's going to come and dethrone me. And yeah, I get the narrative. That was the way at light heavyweight. There was always that next guy coming up. But you ain't never fought an animal like Tom Aspinall, who is as quick on his feet, who has the speed that he does at 260 pounds, who has the heavy hands that he does. You have never been in there with a beast like that. It's just not happened. I'm not saying that means Aspinall wins, but for people to do the Tyson Fury thing of going, oh, well, he's always won, so therefore he always will win.
when you're an interim champion, they only make an interim champion when the champion cannot defend the belt. So for Jon Jones, he couldn't defend the belt because he tore his pec muscle. So the interim champion means he should be fighting the champion right off the bat. That's not the case with Jon Jones, right? Because Jon Jones is going to fight Stipe Miocic. So the interim champion is supposed to sit there and wait. But by law, in like the regulations, once Jon Jones steps in the cage, he is stripped of his interim champion because the champion has returned. There is no longer for an interim champion. What is the point of having an interim champion when the champion is ready to fight?
This is the only sport in the world you can have somebody hold your career back.
Yeah, I've been almost a year inactive with no prospects of anything. Just be ready, and we'll just let you know.
Yeah,
and then it's kind of difficult, like mentally, to.
Oh yeah,
this is the fight against Jon Jones. Like, not the fight is another thing.
Yeah,
this is the tricky bit where I really have to stay switched on, stay motivated, and I'm trying my best. I'm trying. It's tough. As you said a minute ago, no one really knows what's going on behind the scenes apart from me.
Exactly. You're an office cooking.
I train all the time anyway. Just because I've not got a fight doesn't mean I don't train. Like, I honestly can see Jon's point of view. I get it.
Yep.
I get it. It's just about the title for me.
Yep.
I just want the title, that's it.
Yep.
Does nothing else really matters. So
you're like, let me do my thing. Let me fight.
I just want to fight.
And I think that's the respectful way to go about it. It's like, you don't care if it's Jon, and it's no disrespect to Jon, it's no disrespect to anybody out there. You're just trying to fight. Yep. I just want to fight.
Yep.
It's the kind of trolling that only makes things worse, because this isn't just a normal rivalry anymore. This is turning into a standoff. Fans see Tom Aspinall's career being stalled. Fighters are speaking up, and analysts are calling it out. Meanwhile, Jon Jones is across the world taking shots online while no one knows when, or if, he'll fight again. Now people are wondering what's next for Tom Aspinall. Will he be forced to defend the interim belt again even after beating the #1 contender?
The UFC is about one guy being the champion of each division. I defended the interim once already. It's almost unheard of that. It's unprecedented. I thought it was silly the first time, to be honest. The reason that I did it, the first time I fought Curtis Blades, it went down as a loss. I got injured. Worst moment of my career, one of the worst moments of my life. I wanted to redeem myself and get the legit victory against Curtis Blades because it was unfinished business. Like, that was hurting my ego, and I wanted to prove that I was better than Blades, which I did in the rematch, and I defended the interim. Something else, that particular fight was in Manchester, in my hometown. I wanted to fight in my hometown. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to do that again in front of a sold out, brand new Co-op Live arena in Manchester, England. I don't know if I'm ever going to have the opportunity to do that again. So for them two reasons, that's why I defended the interim. I'm not doing it again. Like, I've cleared out the rest of the division, undisputed, and that's it. I deserve a shot at being known as the best heavyweight walking around on planet Earth. It doesn't matter on the opponent, undisputed next.
Stupid. I have no idea the reason why the UFC don't really want Tom to fight anybody else other than Jon Jones. And, you know, they're saying, stay tuned. That's the message they wanted Tom to give out to people. And we had the meeting with Hunter. And they're going to try and fix the fight with Jon Jones. But we're still in April now. Still waiting for this guy to say, I'll have a fight or I'll not have a fight. And I don't really understand that. He's a fighter who should be having fights. Why is he just still sat around not giving an answer as to whether he's going to fight or not? Tom's done all he can do. You know, he's fought in the middle of the night to defend an interim. He fought for an interim because the fight was on for him to do an interim and he couldn't turn it down. And he won that. What else can he do?
Will he wait for Jon Jones and risk wasting another year? Or will the UFC finally make a move? Some believe it could be Cyril Gane again, but Tom Aspinall has made it clear that's not a fight he's chasing.
Cyril Gane is maybe next opponent for you?
Well, he can fight Almeida first because he refused the fight with me. So now, before he jumps back in and waits for a shot, he can fight Almeida, them guys can fight, and the winner can fight me.
Cyril tweeted that he thinks you should be careful what you wish for, and he'll see you in Paris. How do you think you match up against Cyril?
I better be careful, apparently. Yeah. I think I match up pretty well against him. I think I'm equally as fast as him. I move equally as well. The difference is I can grapple. I've got a lot of power. And I think that's pretty undeniable at this stage of my career. I've got a lot of knockouts on my record, mate. I have to touch you once, and I wasn't even throwing heavy tonight. I thought it was going to be a 5-rounder. I didn't mean to knock him out. I was pretty sure that was going to be a 5-round fight tonight, and Just takes one shot, mate. At heavyweight, it's been on multiple occasions, and I'm not the first guy that he's dismissed. I'm not the first guy that he's ducked. It's out there for people to see. The reason that I got the Pavlovich fight was because Cyril didn't want it. So he ducked Pavlovich. He then ducked Curtis Blades. Curtis Blades has been on record saying that. I asked for him years ago. Didn't want it then. I then asked for him in Paris. They flew me over. We tried to make that fight. He didn't want it then. And we'll see what the UFC...
Cyril Gane has been quiet, selective, and avoided tough matchups. Tom Aspinall doesn't want another placeholder. He wants the real belt or someone who brings true danger. That's why the name Francis Ngannou keeps coming up. Tom recently said he'd fight Francis in a heartbeat, and the MMA world exploded. Because if Jon Jones won't fight and the UFC can't make up its mind, maybe it's time to bring in the biggest name outside the company to give Aspinall what he deserves, a legitimate challenge. And if that happens, it's a risk for Jones, not just for his legacy, but for attention. If Tom fights Francis, wins, and puts on a show, the pressure on Jones to come back and prove himself only grows. That's why these jokes about giving up belts aren't sitting well with fans anymore. This is a real issue.
It's a conversation we've had many times now, the Tom Aspinall, Jon Jones fight. It's a bit different now, right? Because Jon's been tweeting a lot about the fact that he's told you his plans, he's ready to vacate the belt, and all the rest of it.
He said he's ready to vacate the belt?
He said he doesn't care if you strip him, he would vacate it.
Crazy. Yeah, I've been busy. I haven't been keeping up with the gossip. He comes back, he's either back today or came back yesterday or whenever he was in Thailand. So he's home. We'll be home tonight, Tuesday. We'll figure this out.
But if he doesn't fight Tom Aspinall and he does walk away, do you think he's ducked him?
Tom Aspinall's the guy. He's the guy. Listen, if the guy wants to retire and doesn't want to fight, nothing you do. I didn't want Habib to retire. I thought DC should have stayed in it longer. So it's none of my business. I'll do what I can to make the fight if we can, if he's talking that crazy. But I didn't realize that.
It was kind of crazy how much interest Jon showed in the Francis Ngannou fight. Like, there was some tweets going back and forth. What would happen if he came to you and says, like, I'll fight, but I won't fight Aspinall, I would fight Ngannou? Would you even be interested in that or no?
I don't have Ngannou under contract, and Aspinall's the guy.
Right. If you were put in the position, would you maybe try to get Ngannou back under contract or no?
Probably not.
Clarify, you said that Jon agreed to fight Tom, yeah?
Jon agreed to fight Tom?
Is that what you just said there? Before, like on the last answer, you said...
Jon agreed to fight Tom, yes.
So he hasn't signed the contract.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you guys have heard me for the last however long. I said, I guarantee you this fight's going to happen. This fight's going to happen. Fight's going to happen. You guys told me the crazy shit that was going on Instagram and all these other places. But yes, I've been saying Jon is going to fight Tom.
There's some rumors out there that you guys had offered him his fuck money. He turned it down.
Unless you hear it come from here, or we put out a press release, don't believe any of this bullshit. But yes, Jon agreed to fight Tom. Fact.
A real champion, a real division, and a real group of fighters, all now stuck waiting on a man who seems more interested in controlling the narrative than defending his spot. Some believe Jon Jones is doing this on purpose, playing mind games and keeping himself in the spotlight while taking no real risks. Others think he's just not motivated anymore, and the idea of fighting someone like Tom Aspinall is too much at this stage of his career. Either way, the reaction has been loud. The community wants resolution, Tom Aspinall wants direction, and the UFC is stuck between their most decorated champion and their fastest rising heavyweight star. If they can't find a middle ground soon, this division could implode. No matter how you look at it, Jon Jones is running out of time to make a move, while Tom Aspinall has already made his ready, his active, and his waiting.
Tom Aspinall's the guy. He's the guy.
Dana White says I'm his man. We love that. We love that on the channel.
And what about Francis Ngannou? You having him? You want some?
The day that I start ducking out of fights and turning opponents down and stuff like that is the day that I'm going to retire. So, as I've always said, and you can ask any promoter I've ever worked with, any guys at the UFC, I'll fight anyone, I'll fight anytime, and I'll fight anywhere. Never turned down a fight in my life. Never will. The day that I start thinking about turning down fights is the day that I'll retire. So to answer the question, whoever they want me to fight is who I'm going to fight.
And is not going to wait forever. So the question now is simple. Will the UFC finally step in? Or will Jon Jones keep dodging and joking his way out of the most important fight in the heavyweight division?